Karen Weatherby stood in her front yard at 6:47 am, still in her silk pajamas and fuzzy slippers, triumphantly watching as her pristine white Mercedes completely blocked the Hendersons' driveway. Steam rose from her coffee mug like incense at her personal altar of petty revenge. When Mike Henderson emerged from his house in his paramedic uniform, already running late for his shift at the hospital, his face went from confusion to disbelief to pure rage in 3 seconds flat. "Are you kidding me right now?" Mike shouted across the manicured lawn, his keys jangling uselessly in his hand. Karen took a deliberate sip of her coffee, savoring both the Ethiopian blend and the moment. "I'm not kidding about anything, Michael. Your basketball hoop is exactly 2 inches into the common area. 2 inches. She gestured dramatically with her free hand, nearly spilling her drink. "The HOA handbook clearly states, I don't care what your stupid handbook says. I have to get to work." Mike's voice cracked with frustration. "People could die because you're having some kind of breakdown." The accusation hit Karen like a slap. Breakdown. She was the most composed person in Willowbrook Estates. She was the one who kept this neighborhood from descending into chaos with her vigilant enforcement of the rules. Her grip tightened on the coffee mug until her knuckles went white. "This isn't a breakdown, this is consequences," she said, her voice dropping to a dangerously quiet tone. "You've ignored 3 written warnings, Michael. 3. You forced my hand." What Karen didn't mention was that she'd been awake since 4 am, measuring and re-measuring the basketball hoop's position with a tape measure she'd ordered specifically for HOA enforcement. The 2-inch violation had consumed her thoughts for weeks, keeping her up at night, making her irritable during her morning power walks. She'd tried reasoning with the Hendersons through proper channels. Well, she'd tried leaving increasingly stern notes, but they'd continued to ignore her authority. Behind Mike, his wife Sarah appeared in the doorway, their twin 6-year-olds peeking around her legs in their dinosaur pajamas. "Karen, what is wrong with you?" Sarah's voice carried across the early morning stillness. "He saves lives for a living. And I save property values." Karen shot back, though something uncomfortable twisted in her stomach at the sight of the confused children. Rules exist for a reason. If everyone just did whatever they wanted, this place would look like a trailer park. Mike pulled out his phone, and Karen felt a spike of alarm. "Who are you calling?" "The police. You can't block someone's driveway. That's illegal, Karen. Actually illegal, not just against your made-up HOA rules." For the first time that morning, Karen felt her confidence waver. She'd been so focused on winning this battle that she hadn't considered the legal implications. But she was in too deep now, her reputation as HOA president on the line. The other residents were probably watching from their windows, waiting to see if Karen Weatherby would back down. "Go ahead and call them," she said, lifting her chin defiantly. "We'll see who's right." 20 minutes later, Officer Rodriguez pulled up in his patrol car, and Karen realized she might have made a terrible mistake. The officer looked tired, like he'd already dealt with too much nonsense for one morning, and his expression grew even more weary when he saw the situation. "Ma'am, you need to move your vehicle immediately," he said to Karen without preamble. "Officer, I'm the HOA president, and this man is in violation of our community guidelines. I have every right to." "You have 0 right to block someone's driveway. None. Move your car now, or I'll have it towed and cite you for harassment." The words hit Karen like ice water. As she fumbled for her keys, her hands shaking with humiliation and rage, she caught sight of curtains twitching in windows up and down the street. Everyone was watching her public defeat. The twins were giggling now, and Sarah was recording everything on her phone. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. As Karen backed her Mercedes into her own driveway, her mind was already racing with new strategies. The Hendersons thought they'd won, but they had no idea who they were dealing with. She'd been playing nice until now, but the gloves were officially coming off. What they didn't know was that Karen had been secretly documenting every minor infraction in the neighborhood for months, building a case that would change everything. And tomorrow's emergency HOA meeting was going to be very interesting indeed.